We don't wait for the rhythm to lead. We make the rhythm, we coach, we create, we lead the scene. Anything but routine.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Anything But Routine. And today we're again talking about, just the way things are happening now with parents and entitlement. And, I heard a coach say something recently that really stuck with me. I think entitlement is actually hindering talented kids from becoming the best they can be. They want to eliminate any feeling that makes their kid uncomfortable. Wow, isn't that true? I mean, I think that's what's really setting a lot of it. And we live in a time where parents want to protect their kid from pain. And I get it. None of us wants to see our kids hurt or upset. But in sports and in life, discomfort is where your growth happens.
Right.
Sometimes when you get pissed off that you didn't get something, you kick it into gear or you...
And I think when we're making everything perfect and comfortable and great for kids, I actually like thinking about this now. I'm like, I see it in kids where they can't handle anything that feels hard or feels uncomfortable because in every other part of their life, it's fixed for them.
Yeah, that's true. When we step in and remove every challenge, we also remove that chance to be resilient and to bounce back.
And for them to go, oh, I just did that.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of times we're like, well, this is too hard. They can't do it. So then they take them out of it or
Yeah. Or, you think of that dance shirt that says, prove them wrong. If you didn't make the cut, prove them wrong. Show them you can do it. And
you see it in kids that have parents that coach them in that way.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think why some parents may act entitled is like I think of it like with hockey or dance. It's like you've put so much money into that sport over the years that you're just frustrated internally because if they're not getting to where you think they should get, they also can see it as a direct reflection on themselves. And
I think that's something I wish parents would like chill a little bit about is like, it's not about if they're gonna get to varsity someday. Like, yes, that's great. Yes, it's great if your kid ends up being the best dancer in your studio or whatever it might be, but that isn't what it's about. And I have too many times had parents say to me, well, can you just tell me if they have a future in this? Like, are they gonna be good? Because I don't want to put all the money into it if you don't think they're gonna go anywhere. And that always makes me feel sad because
for the kid,
because I'm like, shouldn't it be about, is your kid enjoying it? Do they come home happy that they had a great day at dance?
And are they having fun at their sport? I use our team as a good example. We've been 2-time state champions the last couple of years. So it's hard to get on our team. It's really hard. And our JV is fabulous. Like I had a coach at summer camp say to me, you mean your entire JV is doing box turns, every kid on your whole JV? Because we danced every kid at camp. And I'm like, yeah, they are, But parents don't see that good enough. But
they want them on varsity, and it's like, just let your kids be happy. And if I
had a team like this when I was a kid, we didn't have anything like this. Just getting to go on the bus rides and going to the competitions and doing all this fun stuff.
And being a part of something. But I think a lot of times parents are like, well, they're not happy there. And it's like, are they really not happy there? Or do they think you aren't happy with them there? Right. And I think that's what a lot of it comes back to.
Yeah.
And I can think of a very small amount of kids that have made it to their senior year on JV.
I can think of 2. That's
what I mean. And there's not many where I feel like their parents were happy with how they did and the kid was happy.
Yeah, that was cool, So, but sometimes how that entitlement trickles down to the kid is the kids develop unrealistic expectations of themselves or of what their ability really is.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not made to be that. So celebrate where they are, and
celebrate that they're part of something and not doing drugs. I don't know.
I know, and sometimes those kids also, they start having trouble with feedback, struggling with that, with effort and accountability. And it also really damages the team culture as a whole. And, kids may rely, you want to make sure your kids aren't relying on you to advocate for them. I try to tell the parents, I want the kids, pretend it's a job. You wouldn't call the boss if your child was working at McDonald's and say, I can't believe that Jimmy had to be the one flipping burgers all the day. the kids
Some
need
parents
to,
might, I don't know.
they shouldn't. The kids need to advocate for themselves, and they're feeling that pressure to meet their parents' vision. Rather, maybe that's not their own goal. I remember one of my kids on my dance team saying, this is back when I call it our glory years, where we kept winning and winning all the time, and if we came back with a second, she said, I didn't care that we got second, but I worried that my parents were going to be disappointed. And that's sad.
And I think that's something that kids feel a lot of, like, because they just, like sometimes they just want to get in the car and have their parent be like, how'd you feel practice, or how'd you feel the game went tonight, or the performance, instead of being like, oh, you guys got screwed, you should have won. Like, I think a lot of parents do that thinking they're going to make their kid feel better, when in turn it ends up making them feel worse.
This episode is sponsored by the Tea Hive and Move You. At Tea Hive, we don't just provide custom designs, we personalize them to suit your needs. Whether you need tablecloths, banners, t-shirts, dye sublimation, sweatshirts, jackets, or warm-ups, we can create them for you. Your dancers will be thrilled with our latest dance designs, or we can bring your custom logo to life. Check us out at the Tea Hive and Move You.
So how can we as coaches respond is, I think, setting parent expectations early, really having parent meeting, and maybe pull them all back together again. Like sometimes if there's something brewing, I'll maybe call them back all in and go, hey, we just need to talk and go over this. And one of the things that we try to say a lot to our parents is, you have one kid to worry about, I have 30. And I can't put somebody's needs over the needs of the whole team. And that's really hard to balance.
It is, because we love all the kids.
Yesterday we were sitting talking to our swings, which we have about 8 kids sharing 4 spots. Yeah. So this week, 4 of them get to dance. Next week at the next competition, the other 4 will get to dance, and we swing them in and out and just see how they do. And it's more because our formations are for 28, and we actually have 32 kids right now that could go in and out, which is a great problem, but it's hard. And one of the things we were saying is, you're all very similar, so don't start comparing yourself. One of you may have higher kicks, one of you may have better turn technique, one of you may have better facials, but you're all very equal in where you're at, so don't get down on yourself. So yeah, and just remembering not to take it personally. Model emotional regulation. I'm reading this, but emotional regulation and empathy. And, like, I can see you sometimes react exactly like I do when you get frustrated.
Oh, yeah, we both have the same.
Where we have kind of we want to snap mentality sometimes. And it's funny when you see it in the other person. It seems, a little bit more like, okay, get it together, sister, Yeah. But I can do the same thing. And so really trying to sometimes maybe walk away and get yourself under control if something isn't going exactly.
Don't throw things.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, but a parent workshop or getting them back together again is a great thing. And just maybe sending out some expectations of parents. I know one of the coaches that's a friend of mine, she wrote out do's for parents, don'ts for parents. And I
like that.
It was like, do support everyone's kids. Don't, So anyway, not to beat this topic up, but it's been one that's been brought up to us a lot. So I hope this helped a little bit.
We make the rhythm, we coach, we create, we lead the scene.